Alright lovers, alright, mush, how's it going? Repent here, got another video for you. This one is a tuning video. I'm tuning with Juri from Lightening and Sm1le. So what we got in the menu for you this evening? Well, diners, we have light tanks, we have map awareness, some tune tactics, we have some well done reds, and some fine champagne tanking for the more discerning connoisseur amongst you. So yeah, so as I said, I'm tuning with Juri from his clan leading Sm1le, which is a fantastic clan, and excellent clan leader in Juri, great clan values, will teach you and you will get better. So if you're looking for a fantastic clan, I'd recommend Sm1le. Now I'm calling Juri because he's actually he lives in the UK, he's like a native Russian speaker, and I don't know what his fucking, I don't even know how to pronounce his in-game name because it's written Cyrillic script, isn't it? I mean, it could be like, you know, with a massive dick, it could be something about teabagging, although I suspect it's something in a tank, because, well, I haven't lived in Kazakhstan for a while, I think it might be something in a tank, but anyway, which would certainly be more apt than teabagging, or referring to his penis. Although you never know, he has kids, so he might be very proud of his penis, but I digress. Anyway, so, what can I say about this? Well, firstly, Juri is a unicorn player, he's a fantastic player. And we played 12 games together, we won 11 of them. And I have to say they're the easiest 11 wins I've ever had, because all I did was just follow him. So, you know, I know from a couple of friends of mine, you know, that he is an amazing Blitz player. He's amazing map awareness, particularly great in light tanks. So, you know, why reinvent the wheel? I just decided to follow him. Literally, I just followed him around, like a fucking lost dog. And it worked out fucking really well for me, I have to say. By the way, one game we did lose, we almost won as well. So you can see, he does things differently than other tankers, right? I mean, well, obviously driving into walls. I do that myself, so that's something we have in common. So, you know, he's a different type of play. What he does in different maps is somewhat different to what other tankers do. So he sort of really took there rather than going straight down into the rivers and the valley on main runes. He went into the centre of the spot, and then let's see where the reds go. And then we came up here behind this kind of ambush position. And we're spotted, and we just do all sorts of fucking damage here. I mean, like, we're kind of like, I don't know if you watch nature programs, but if you do, you know, chimps are normally fairly placid, not eating bananas and nuts and stuff like that, but occasionally they just go fucking bananas, if you excuse the pun. They go ape shit, excuse the second pun, and they just go off on a warpath and they just fucking kill other chimps or other monkeys and eat them. And they're always led by the alpha male, so in this case, we're the chimps, Juri's the alpha male, I'm just following him around, and we're literally cannibalising all these other fucking reds here. I mean, when you think about it, the reds are tanks too, so we're just cannibalising them. Juri is the alpha male. I'm like sort of his second in command, slightly less dominant, slightly smaller chimpanzee companion. And with my knuckles dragging on the ground, I'm just following around the map. Now, one of the interesting things about this, we both recorded the game, so now you're going to see the same sort of gameplay from Juri's perspective. So you're looking at it from the view of a unicorn player here. And I think what's interesting about it is, and by the way, he's put some of his thoughts in here in the little text boxes, so have a look at them too. One of the interesting things is, and why he's probably such a great unicorn player, is that he puts in so many shots. So you see, even though I'm following him, I don't get in half as many shots as this guy. He drives into the wall, the big rock. Normally I do that, so it was quite refreshing to see that even unicorn players like him can do it. And made me feel slightly more human, even though in this instance we are pretending that we're chimpanzees. You see now he comes around behind me, and we're putting in all sorts of hurt in this poor fella here now. This fella's ended up like fucking, like Jim Robbins, the old and that bucket and mop scene in Shawshank Redemption. So anyway, we're just coming around here, we remain unspotted, and we're just putting in all sorts of damage. And I think what's amazing about it is, right, Juri puts in a round almost every time the tank reloads. And that's how you get up your DPM, and I think that's how you get to become a unicorn player. And I have to say, it was a pleasure playing with him, because literally I could just switch my fucking brain off. All I had to do was just follow him around the map. And I think that's a lesson for you if you want to get better, you know. And the reason I did it was because, you know, I have my own game playing. I'm not a bad player, right? But I'm not as good as Juri, but I'm not a bad player. I often hold my own. I can even carry games and all that. But, you know, as the Dalai Lama said, when you speak, you only repeat something you know. But when you listen, you learn something new. Or as my teacher, Mr. Scott, used to say, shut the fuck up and listen, you might learn something. So, and in this instance, you know, this is why I decided to, we're back to now my perspective again on the game. So what I'm thinking is here, you know, if I just did my own thing, I'm not going to learn anything new on me. So that's why I decided to follow him around. And I have to say, in the 11 games we played, I did learn a lot. I learned a lot about how to approach maps differently, because you'll see that Juri has a different way of doing things, you know, going up the middle, trying to spot the enemy, then trying to flank them and stuff like that. And you know, that's not something I normally do myself. I normally go one way left or right, you know, just I look at the red setup and I just decide which way to go based on that. But he taught us a bit something. He taught me something new, you know, which and I think that this is an amazing thing about it. I think this is what Unicum players should do, right? They should be given time to the players who are not so good. And by the way, this poor fella here, I mean, he just gets totally bukkake, doesn't he? I mean, it was just really, he was going to get into cum shot there, wasn't it? I mean, we just totally fucked that guy up. Here's this same piece of gameplay from Juri's perspective again, so you can see what he sees. I just put this fast forward because I want you to see from his perspective, but I also didn't want you to get bored, so you know. But anyway, as I was saying, I think that Unicum players, have a responsibility to help others to learn and that. And Juri is one of those guys who's willing to do that. And you know, we were speaking all the time of this. We weren't speaking Discord, we were using Skype, but it's the same thing. And he was sharing his thoughts with me and sharing how we should do, what we should do, etc. What his views on the map, etc. And it really worked out well. And I learned a lot, I have to say. I learned a lot in those 12 games. I learned more in those 12 games than I did probably playing 112 games or 1,012 games before my own. And I think Unicum players have a responsibility to do this, right? But they don't often do it, right? In fact, a lot of them are very salty and they're very arrogant. And I remember back to, you know, when I was learning how to drive, one of the things my driver instructor said to me was, by the way, if you just interrupt that story here, he gets a mastery badge of this, by the way, and you can see what a fantastic game he had with all the badges he got, you know. And he was just a pleasure playing with him. And just, you know, as I said, if you want to learn, this is how you learn, isn't it? Now, one of the things I want to say was, you know, when I was learning to drive, my driver instructor said to me, you know, I don't understand, you know, people who are beeping at you and honking, you know, when you're trying to learn on the road. He says, you would assume that some humans are born with the ability to drive, which is not the case. Everybody has to learn, everybody makes mistakes. And yet, once they learn and they got their license, they're very impatient with those learning. They forget that was them in a while past. Now, I'm pretty fucking sure that nobody's born with the ability to play World of fucking Tanks Blitz, right? So then I don't understand why people, you know, are so annoyed when people are trying to learn. Surely the best way for the game to evolve and for people to have fun is for those Unicum players and the better players to help each other and to help others who are less good than them. And Juri is one of those Unicum players who's willing to do that. And that's why I admire him so much. Because let's face it, some of the others are total cunts. You know, and I'm sure a lot of you have been on the receiving end of fucking abuse from and all that, you know. By the way, if you're a Unicum player and you're like that, if you judge your life success on your ability to play a fucking pixelated tank game, then you're a fucking loser of monumental proportions, and you fucking no right whatsoever to be giving some other fucking poor guy fucking hard time because he's not as good as you. So just fucking put that in your pipe and smoke it for a while. Anyway, sorry, I digress back to the game here. So, again, you see Juri took a different tactic here. You're going to see the game from his perspective here as we attack this VK, this poor VK. Oh my god. 21 seconds that poor fucker was dead. 21 seconds from being spotted. That is literally, he got bukkake, didn't he? I mean, he just got ass raped, gang raped. Poor fella, like, you know, you'll see me coming around the corner here. I've got the old M25, the old dwarf bukkake, and I just fucking pump it into him there. And poor lad had no hope, did he? He had no hope. I don't know what the Reds were doing there. But now back to my perspective. So you see Juri comes around the corner here. Now, this is not a pleasant sight here because we see all this big fucking armour looking down at us and all that, but actually they're preoccupied. See the poor old toaster here. It's just not his day, the poor fucker. He does nowhere to run really. He just gets literally fucking deliverance round, multiple pounding up the arsehole. Squeal piggy squeal. So there you go. So you can see, but again, Juri's tactics at the start of the game are fantastic, right? Go drive up the middle, spot, see what we can do, and if there's any lone red around, pick him off. Jesus Christ, did we pick off that poor lad? He literally got picked like a nose at the kindergarten, didn't he? Poor fella, didn't know what hit him. So in this game here, again, it was a very quick game, and I found all the games were very quick, like, you know, because his tactics and his decision making, using the mobility of the tanks, getting around the map, using the firepower, the quick reload. Literally, the Reds didn't stand a fucking chance. I mean, they literally didn't stand a chance. They just got butt fucked, royally butt fucked. Again, now I'm going to show you this from Juri's perspective, see what he sees. It's quite interesting because you see all the all the orange shots going into that poor lad. Juri eventually takes him out. And really they didn't have a chance. I mean, we moved so quickly, we used the tank's mobility, we used the firepower, the quick reloads, that we were all over the place. You see here, the both of us were putting in the shots into this KV. You know, it was just mayhem, like, you know. And speeding up here, you just get an impression of how quickly the gameplay was, you know. Again, a fantastic game. Juri finished top again, and I finished second, which actually didn't bother me at all because, as I said, I'm just that smaller, less mobile chimp, following around the alpha chimp, doing lots of damage. And did we feast on Reds? We certainly did. So yeah, so there you go. So some fantastic tuning there with Juri, and I'd recommend getting in touch with Sm1le. You learn a lot there. Or my own Clan 101. Alright, take it easy now. See you lads. Cheers now. Hope you enjoyed it. Cheers much. See you now. Bye.